Are you in the mood for a little tri-tip? I know I am. Anyways, the old Coot here coming at you with another exciting video. Today I'm going to focus on the Cutluxe line of products, or at least the ones that I have. This is high carbon German steel, very nice quality. The company's great as well. I can't say enough good things about the company. Their customer service is exceptional. This is the 4-piece steak knife set, and I left 2 in the packaging just so you can kind of see that they take their time to package this stuff. There's like all of these little protector things. There's the sleeves in there and all that. But here's, oh my God, look at how nice that steak knife is. Like, especially if you're enjoying a tri-tip, just saying. And then on this side, what I've got is I've got their 10-inch honing steel, which is perfect because it was about that time for me to go ahead and sharpen up the carver. By the way, the sharpening does last a very, very long time. I think it was months ago that I did a video on this particular one, and it's stayed sharp pretty much the whole time. But just for demonstration purposes, I wanted to kind of show you all how the honing steel works in combination with the carver and also with the steak knives. I'll show you all that stuff in a second. But as I mentioned, I cannot say enough good things about their packaging, their marketing. Everything is simple, straightforward. Each one of their products comes wrapped in like a sleeve like this. And then, very nice for presentation. If you're going to be giving these as a gift to like the chef at home, or maybe a coworker or someone who likes cooking and wants, to get into that kind of stuff, there you go. This is what the honing steel came in. And by the way, I have to point out too that they do think about this kind of stuff. So they put the silica packets in there so that there's no premature like moisture that would get in there that would dry out or mess with any of the metals or whatever. So definitely they take their time to think about that kind of stuff. You do also get a lens cleaner like for your glasses or whatever, and that comes with both sets, by the way. I think everything here came with that. The steak knives, the honing steel, even the carving knife as well. So you get one of those, and then here you've got a thank you card, and then you've also got a barcode here, a QR code, if you want to go ahead and scan that for more customer service type stuff. Here you've got like a little mini catalog that comes with every set as well. It kind of has instructions on care, maintenance, that kind of stuff. And then it also kind of shows you the different line of products that they make. I think, it just kind of runs you through like what's available from the company. So it comes in every package, I believe. Then you also get another card here that says, please send a review about their products, so you can kind of do a review online or whatever, and then kind of just mention how good it is and all that good stuff. But then the box itself, when you actually get to the boxes themselves, very well very well designed marketing. So each one has a little magnetic closure, which is pretty awesome. So that closes shut and then it's shut. So you can actually store your knife or your honing rod or your stainless or whatever you decide to buy from the company, you can store it like this. So this happens to be the 10-inch honing rod, as you can tell, but very well designed. It's clear as day. You can totally tell if I pull this out of a drawer, okay, Cutluxe was the name of the company, right? This is their Artisan series. This is the 10-inch honing rod. So piece of cake to kind of identify everything. And then when it comes to the steak knife set, these are absolutely amazing. Sharp as can be, straight from the factory. There's no need to sharpen them prematurely or anything. I would just wait till you notice that they're starting not to cut as well as they did the day that you bought them, and then go ahead and sharpen. So anyways, for the purposes of this video, we're gonna slice some cold tri-tip that I'm gonna turn into some steak sandwiches later on this afternoon. What's very important to have on hand, this is just me, this is how I do it, paper towels. Paper towels are your friend. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rip off a little sheet of paper towels, and then before you sharpen anything, please make sure that your utensils are clean. So give them a wash in some warm soapy water, just mild soap. Like I like Dawn dish soap, works the best for me. What I'll do is I'll usually go to the sink, right? Put my hand underneath the water, shut off the water, and then basically just dab it in the paper towel like this. And what this does is this kind of helps to moisten the towel just so that it's easier to pick or wipe away some of that metal shavings that may come off during the process of sharpening the steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the honing rod and just wipe it really quick just to kind of moisten it a little, like ever so slightly. Just give it a little wipe like this. And then what I do is I also wipe the knife as well. And it's very important to be careful because as sharp as this is, it's a lot sharper than you think it is. So just basically take the towel and just in a reverse motion, right? I'm pulling from the sharp side to the not sharp side. What I'm going to do is just wipe and just give it, just basically just want to lightly moisten it just so that that water, so when I flip this over now, I'm going to be pulling this way, and I'm not trying to cut anything. I'm just basically just moistening that edge of the knife so that the honing rod can do its thing and actually sharpen this. Okay, another tip or trick is as I hold my honing rod, it's a good idea if you're a beginner to just hold the honing rod down like this and then sharpen like at a 45-degree angle. So basically you're putting the back of the blade on. Let me see if I can get this on camera. So you're putting the back of the blade on, and then what you're doing is you're just going in a down motion, and you're almost as if you were slicing meat. So just like that, just very simple, very easy motion. And if you do 2 on this side, you should do 2 on this side the same way. So 45-degree angle again. I hope this is coming up on camera. And basically start with the back of the knife right there and then pull all the way through just in a very light, gentle motion like so. Does that make sense? So 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. You're just basically honing that edge, literally. What you're trying to do is the edge of the knife will become blunt or flat. And what you want to do is you want to restore that point that's on the edge of the blade. That's basically what we're trying to do here. And then the more advanced you get and the more comfortable you get with holding the knife and the honing steel, now what you could do is something like this, where you're holding the honing steel in one hand. Whatever your dominant hand is the hand that you want to hold your blade in, or your knife or whatever. And basically you're kind of doing the same thing where you're holding the blade at, I would say if your honing steel was completely straight, you're kind of trying to hold the blade at a 45-degree angle to that. And basically you're starting from the edge and pulling down and through all the way to the edge. And then you would do the other side and pull all the way through. So in real time, once you get comfortable and you've mastered this, it should look something like so, right? Where you're sharpening one side, one side, one side. And I guarantee you that is sharper than it was 20 seconds ago or a minute ago. Very important as well, that same paper towel that you had, sorry, whoops, getting some camera problems here. But very important is that same paper towel that you had, what you want to do is after you're done sharpening, and it only takes a few swipes. I would say maybe 5 on one side, 5 on the other, should get you to a point where you're resharpened. If you need a more longer honing session, usually it's because you let your knife go too long. But I would say once you sharpen it, typically if you do this let's say every 5th or 6th time of using the knife, it should stay relatively sharp the entire time. And that German steel that's in there, that quality German steel, that will also help to retain that edge so that you don't get a dull edge quicker. That German steel will help you to maintain that sharp edge for a longer period of time. Does that make sense? Yes, I hope so. Okay, so take your towel that you moisten, and basically now you just kind of want to wipe off the honing steel, right? And then what you could do is you could go back in with a dry paper towel and dry it off completely so that you prevent any water from causing any damage to the honing steel. But after that, you can put it away, store it, do whatever you need to do. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the knife. Usually what I'll do is I'll fold the wet or moist paper towel, and I'll just kind of fold it in half so that I get a new clean surface here. And what I want to do is that same thing that we did in the beginning. So I'm going to take my knife edge and just slowly pull away from me and do the same thing here. I'm going to pull towards me now. So I'm not trying to cut the paper. I'm just trying to pull the edge along that paper towel just to clean it, just to make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, so now let me go ahead and show you how I'm going to slice up this beautiful tri-tip that I cooked up a little while ago. But basically now it's been in the fridge. You could do this warm or hot, like if you had just cooked your tri-tip or your meat, ribeye, steak, whatever it is that you're going to slice up, your pork roast, right, or whatever, turkey, whatever the case may be. It's a good idea to just let the meat sit a little bit, like let it sit for maybe 5 or 10 minutes before you start slicing it, just so that the juices don't go running out like a hose, like a garden hose. So let it sit. In my case, I put this in the fridge because I knew I was going to make sandwiches today. And it's a little bit easier to slice super thin if you're going to be making sandwiches when your meat has been in the fridge for at least 6 to 8 hours. That's just a little tip or trick. So anyways, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab, it doesn't matter which side you slice, as long as you want to try to go against the grain. So if the grain of the meat is running this way, I want to slice this way, perpendicular or at an angle to the grain, so that as you cut it with your steak knife, or even as you pull it with the fork, basically you're giving yourself more texture in there so that it's not as chewy. It will fall apart like butter in your mouth and just be that much more of the pleasurable experience for you. So what I like to do is I take my fingers and I curl them so that basically I'm not going to cut off my fingertips, but I curl my fingers and I grab onto the meat like so. And then what I'll do is I'll take my blade, a nice, I would say about a 45-degree angle, and just pull straight through. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to start with the back of the knife and just literally pull straight through. That is like butter slicing through that. So let me go ahead and do another super thin slice of meat right there. Same thing. Boom. Look at how literally how paper thin that beautiful tri-tip is. And that's just 2 or 3 slices. So again, if you wanted to continue and slice straight through, if you don't feel comfortable doing this with a bare hand, you can always wear a protective like mesh, stainless steel mesh glove that will protect your hands if you feel more comfortable doing it that way, you know, whatever works for you. But look at how much of a clean surface. This to me is the perfect medium rare when it comes to a nice steak sandwich like this. So again, just resting the spine or the back of the blade against my knuckle, so I'm not going to cut it. And look at how much distance there is between my fingertip and the actual blade itself. So remember, curling my fingers, just doing one of these, very, very thin slices, and just pull through. Let the knife do the work. So there's no need to push down on the blade. Just pull the blade and it will literally slice right through. Like butter, like a hot knife through butter. And again, super, super thin slices. I mean, you talk about thin slices of deli meat, there you go. Anyways, if you want to reheat your meat, the best idea is either put it in a frying pan or put it in the oven. If you did want to make a sandwich and have warm meat or a hot sandwich or whatever, you kind of get the idea. Let me show you all. Let me grab a fork real quick. Stick a fork in me. I'm almost done. Hold on. Here we go. So let me show you all the steak knives. So I got my handy dandy fork. Now I've got one of the beautiful steak knives. Just for the processes of cleanliness, I'm going to show you all. Same thing, I'm going to clean my steak knife, just kind of pull through, just so that if there was anything on there, if I had sharpened it, it'll be completely clean. You know, obviously warm soapy water, wash them when you first get them. But I'm just going to show you all how good these work. So again, super thin piece of meat. Let's take this one, for instance. Here's my fork, here's my cutting knife. Just like butter, just like butter. I'm barely holding the knife and just pulling through. Let's see. And boom, just like butter again. So I'm not really pushing down as much as I'm slicing and pulling the knife through. Look at that. Very sharp, very, very sharp. So just as a reminder, if you are going to sharpen, please, I hope that you do decide to get the honing steel and sharpen your knives. I would say every 5th or 6th time, just to kind of keep up with it, like regular maintenance. It's kind of like your teeth and, you know, brushing your teeth. You want to do it frequently just to kind of maintain a level of sharpness on your knives. When you're done using them, obviously be extremely careful because you do have very sharp, you know, edges here. What I would do is warm soapy water, wash them, and either put them in a drying rack like so you have a nice drying rack, or wipe them off with a paper towel. You never want to let German steel like this, especially high carbon steel, sit in water. It may cause some premature wear and tear that you don't want. So just wash them, dry them, let them air dry out at least, I would say 12 hours would be respectable before putting them away. I have an entire drawer that's dedicated to my knives. And what I will typically do is after I've washed these and dried them, what I'll usually do is I'll put the protective sleeves back on, right? I think I had them here somewhere. So like this is the sleeve for the honing steel. This is the sleeve for the carving knife. What I'll usually do is put the sleeves back on and then put them in this drawer like this. And usually that's another good tip or trick too, is when you do put your knives away, what I always try to do is put them away so that the blade side, the sharp side, is usually facing down. Like this one's facing down, this one's facing down. You kind of get the idea, just so that you don't reach in there and accidentally cut your fingertips or whatever. I do hope this video helps some of you out there. If it does, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down there below. As mentioned before, Cutluxe, what a great company. German high carbon steel, very, very respected within the industry. As you saw, paper thin slices of meat, both with the carver and the steak knives. It's a great piece of kit that you'll want to look into purchasing. I hope this video helps you make a more informed decision. These are sold separately, so the steak knives are one kit, the carving knife is one kit, the honing steel is another kit, but check on their website. I will put a link down below in the description there. Check on their website. Sometimes these things are sold in kits together. So maybe you might get a this with a that and a that with a this. You'll have to check that link down there below in the description section for more information. But as mentioned before, I'm getting ready to enjoy a beautiful steak sandwich here on this lovely afternoon, and I'll catch you on the next exciting video.